Hello. How you guys doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We're finally back. We're going to. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are having a good one. What do we need? What do we need? What was the last thing we wrote down for these guys? I still haven't done the Arlong stuff for Luffy. Outsmarts Kiba's thing with food rations. Summons Gamabunta twice. Blitzes and turns Naruto's balls into cans of beans. That would suck. Okay. We're going to figure out the next portions of the series that I'm going to require. Here's Naruto. I'm glad someone out here doesn't think One Piece is the weakest of the big three. It's not really about who is the strongest or weakest of the big three for me. I don't really... I genuinely don't personally care. More so, I'm mostly just worried about trying to figure out... I'm mostly just here to try to figure out whether or not any of this is even remotely necessary. Okay. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Skull? It's been a minute. I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Hey, what's up, One Smart? Tuning exams. There we go. Big Three as a class of anime is not important at all. Saying the series is slow as fuck when they dodge light beams on a daily basis is the issue. Yeah. You've just been busy. That's okay. Being busy isn't always a bad thing. You know what I mean? I'm just going to take these real quick. Let's just take these real quick. This debate is so one-sided. I'm actually interested in Naruto. Please don't call them that. Listen, people have opinions, and that's completely fine. We're talking about which verse could potentially win in a fight. I don't think it's necessary to call people a tard. Trust me, I feel the same way sometimes, but I don't know. It's just not my thing to really come at people for that kind of stuff. Crying over the fact that they're trying everything they can to imagine to stay relevant. Yeah, I don't know about that. Also, I'm immeasurably biased. I'm also excited to see your reasoning as to why Luffy beats Naruto, as I take your word as gospel regarding One Piece. You shouldn't really take my word as gospel. I'm just a guy who reads the series. I thought the same thing. I'll be honest with you, and this is a conversation that, I've had in chat a few times before, but I'm not really partial to the idea that, I'm not really partial to the idea that, people always take YouTubers' words as, gospel, or as you put it, right? Obviously, a lot of people usually have interests in series in the same way that we do. It's just that, people like me that are content creators essentially sit down and we have more time to, talk about the kinds of things that we have a common shared interest with, but, you're always more than welcome to have your own opinion, especially in regards to anything whatsoever. And obviously that's the case. I'm sure you're aware of that. But more so from the sense that if a guy on the internet says, a guy on the internet like me says, oh yeah, Naruto beats Luffy, or Luffy beats Naruto, or whatever, 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 you know, you can also come down to your own conclusion, because I used to do the same thing, right? I used to do the same thing for like other scalers like Suikage, Six, and even Seth at the time, and I was like, you know, these guys proved it, you know, these guys gave this evidence, and they proved the thing, and they did the thing, and you know, all this stuff, right? Like they put an image of some calculations on their screen. That means that they're right, you know what I mean? And I mean, you know, it's not always inherently true, you know what I mean? Reasoning seems concrete enough. Flash has been beat by people slower than him on multiple occasions. I don't care how many times I see Luffy and people definitely weaker and slower than him dodge light beams. He's subsonic at best because I don't like the idea of him being that fast. Goku's left pinky clears both in a 2v1. That's actually not even remotely wrong. That's actually very much true. Source, I made it up. No, you're not even... You know what's crazy? You didn't have to even make it up. That is actually not a bad estimate for how easy Goku could probably beat Luffy or Naruto. Damn, Kakashi trying to climb up a giant cliff all with one hand is crazy. Shouldn't be so strenuous. I really let my body get weak. Yeah. I'll take those real quick. An AI ad just interrupted me and I almost threw my phone. You shouldn't do that. Don't worry. That's a reasonable crash out, but don't worry about it. Take a closer look. He's got back legs. See, Naruto didn't make much progress. Let's see. How much time till the 3 weeks since the start of the training. What's the difference between a frog and a tadpole? It's effectively like you're slogging through pretty much on willpower alone. It's no easy test to develop the ability to access and control the chakra of the Nine Tails. But there's no doubt that his body's too small to completely contain the chakra's monster. I imagine Naruto's body normally suppresses Fox Spear's power to avoid the strain, so if I keep drawing out the Fox's chakra, it's a sudden emotional, then I'll just have to teach him how to use that as a key the hard way. Oh, that just means that you're essentially... I think that means that you're essentially engaging with chat. Yeah, we're gonna have to delete these. I guess because other people are commenting more. Yeah, but I take your reasoning. Your reasoning seems concrete enough for me to believe in, and I'm extremely biased towards One Piece and also you, since you're my top two. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I only call them that because they choose to be intellectually dead instead of progressively trying to reach an understanding. Like the YouTuber who said soccer can defeat Katakuri just because. I mean, again, they're just opinions. Like, I get it, right? But I've also said this plenty of times where, you know, if you feel like somebody is having an opinion that you feel is inherently disingenuous, you don't have to convince them and you don't even have to argue it. You can just ignore it. Like, me personally, I don't really care for at least the idea or the notion that, like, you know, if people are gonna say, oh yeah, no, One Piece is an island level verse, it doesn't matter. This shit is so one-sided, it's not even close. Kid Naruto stomps the verse. Like, they can believe that. That's fine. If we try to have a conversation and if I'm trying to have a conversation and, you know, I'm trying to say, well, you know, that's not remotely true. Can you prove that? Can you prove those claims? And they say, yeah, no, the continental shit is just outliers, and they're gonna destroy countries, or an L was gonna wipe out a country is just it was a mistranslation. Oda didn't actually mean that, and so on and so forth. Then at that point, you know, you just stop having a conversation. It doesn't even remotely matter. Hmm. This is a pretty sick cover. This cover's pretty damn sick. What are you guys talking about? It's raining and I have no umbrella. That's an unfortunate state of affairs that you find yourself in, buddy. That's a really unfortunate series of decisions that you made that led you to the point where you are now currently outside without an umbrella. Me personally could never. Let me stop. I scale for myself and I just use people to test and bounce off ideas. That's fine. That's not power scaling. That's eating scaling or whatever. Why does power scaling have to be about fights? Which of them could eat more food? I mean, you can power scale food. You can power scale who eats more food. That's something you can 100% do. It's just usually, and for the most part, people don't necessarily care. They just want to talk about fighting because it's always fighting. Yeah, it was so different. It really was. I don't like Minato's old hairstyle. I like the bigger one that Kishimoto made for him. There are 5... Oh, he one-shot Neji. Hold on to Gamma Bunta, anime. One-shots Neji. See, the chakras equally and evenly distributed among the doppelgangers. Even my Byakuga won't enable me to determine which of the bodies is the genuine article. In the end, there is actually only one body. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, usually Naruto can make upwards of like 10 or 15 clothes on average. It's not even at fault. Oh, goodness. Damn, you guys are chatting a lot. What the fuck were you saying? You don't have to give bad actors. I'm tired of seeing the hourglass figures. Girls are morbidly obese women. All I need is buff Nami. Type shit! Honestly, all power scaling is absolutely moot because Aurelie clears everyone, no diff. Type shit. That's actually true. A lot of diehard Naruto power scalers are committed to believing One Piece is weaker and will never argue in good faith. I could believe that. I mean, you could scale One Piece way above multi-continental if you consider the fact that the Grand Line's islands are the size of continents on our world, so the ice continent must be even larger. Yeah. I have seen someone say that Project Moon versus caps at subsonic speed because Dante couldn't see Indigo's Elder Harpoon, which means it's subsonic. It's near impossible to have a debate with someone who rejects the premises outright. I agree with that. And it's like saying Zoro is subsonic or Flash Step is only subsonic. The entire crew is now Yonko crew, and almost half of them don't even have hockey. I mean, they don't really need hockey. I don't know if it's stupid on Oda's behalf to give the crew Yonko level capabilities without using hockey. You guys think Toriko or Kirby would win in a food challenge? I might actually make that video. Toriko versus Kirby. Food challenge. I might actually make that. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. Select all, delete, Kirby versus Toriko food challenge. You know, with all the panels Ian has, I wonder how much storage this guy has. Yeah, I have quite a bit. You can say that the big issue is because of the Kuma feat. I never said 1P, they need OP hockey. I can't remember where I saw this, but it's that big. Kirby would win. I I would probably say the same, but I've been told about some crazy shits for Toriko, so we'll see. Does chain scaling even work for Naruto in One Piece? Depends on what you mean by chain scaling. How does Robin not have future sight after being on the run her entire life? Because she doesn't know how to use observation hockey. Needs more power scalers in general easily. I could probably actually look into Toriko. It's only about 200 chapters. Don't actually think. No, they do. You can't say that authors don't think about power scaling. What you're thinking about is that authors don't think of. What you really mean is that authors, or at least what I assume you mean, is that authors don't think about power scaling in the sense of like cross verse matchup. They have to think about power scaling in terms of their actual characters. I mean, look at Neji, for example. Neji being able to systematically keep up with, tag, and fight all of Naruto's clones and be stronger than him on a physical extent is, in and of itself, power scaling. Characters being relative to one another by specific points in the series, like the the Sasuke retrieval arc, is power scaling. Characters like, the Sound 4 requiring their Curse Mark version 2 amps. Characters like the Sound 4 performing their version 2 amps to fight Jonin, that is in and of itself power scaling. You can't say that authors don't think about power scaling because they have to, especially for shonen manga. That is that would be at least a claim that would just completely disagree with, based on the simple fact that an author has to set up, especially for a shonen manga, has to set up. I love the Sound Pool. They're so cool. I'm definitely biased. Yeah, they have to think about it in order, especially for a series, in order to establish a hierarchy in terms of power, and especially to establish the idea that there are characters who are stronger than one another, and to keep a certain level of consistency. Monkey D. Luffy beating Kaido in pre-time skip would be bad power scaling, for example. It would make no sense within the context of the story, and power scaling actually has a lot to do with narrative. It's just that a lot of the times people genuinely ignore narrative just for feats and statements, right? As a matter of fact, when I go into the video, I'm actually going to talk about how certain certain portions of power scaling technically do have to ignore I remember this fight taking forever, bro. What is that symbol? It's a symbol of bond, which means complete cycle. It means full. It's like, it's supposed to mean full or complete. It's not the scary Austrian painter's political party symbol. I blocked 64 of your Tenketsu points. How are you planning on fighting if you can't use chakra? Crap, I'm talking a big game, but I can't feel my chakra at all. It just times like I used up all. Okay, we're gonna take this shit. Yeah. Is oozing. What's going on? It's not possible that Tenketsu's repressed. Chakra, there's no mistaking. When you gain the ability to access chakra of the Nine Tails. Ooh, scary. Here I come. Incredible. It's so much stronger than when I was training. I feel it. Okay. He grabs and then he throws. He's quicker than before. What in the world is going on? You like close combat, right? Yeah. The Byakugan is just a budget Ryuo Haki? Not really. He's not eating the internal damage. He simply unpressed his chakra points. And mind you, that only he simply reactivated his chakra points. And I think the funniest part about that, about like trying to argue that, is that like he could only do that because he could only really do that because specifically Neji turned off his chakra points. Pressure points would work on people from other versions in the same way that Neji could block out Sanji's chakra network because it's just not there. Well, it's a little different. If Neji tries to, like, let's say attack the internal the quote unquote chakra network of, let's say, Sanji from One Piece, it should all still be there, right? Like, not the chakra network, but all the same pressure points. It's at least fair to assume that all the same pressure points are within the body. The difference here, listen. The difference here is that Neji specifically targets chakra points versus actual pressure points. A pressure point is a nerve ending. The chakra point is a lot thicker since it's literally the size of a needle of a pin needle. Nerve endings are not that big. Now, can Shiro from Fist of the North Star should be able to, as long as the person's anatomy is close enough towards that of a human, humans from across verses, I think it's fair enough to assume that they probably have similar enough anatomy to where you can say that they're, Jesus Christ, just don't have enough. To the point where you can say that they have, 1 second. Let me just grab this. I don't know about y'all, but this fit for Sasuke went so hard, bro. I fuck with the black jumper. I'd say that, like, if the human's anatomy is similar enough, I would probably say, yeah, it would work. Fast, just like him. His stance matches my taijutsu image. Your sand armor? Come on. Yeah, but it's not the same thing as, like, poking an organ versus literally destroying it. I think that here's the thing that you're just not understanding. There's a difference between poking the organ and systematically destroying it from the inside out. I wouldn't say that Naruto has the same exact pressure points, chakra points regardless. It's not that Kurama gives him a brand new series of chakra points. It's not that it can't be pressed. It's more so that he can force out Kurama's chakra, which overrides the pressed points. That's practically the same speed as Lee without his weights. It looks like Lee's taijutsu, even his speed is a lot greater than before. Took me years. He achieved that in just 1 month. However, maintaining the speed still expends quite a lot of energy, doesn't it? Sand armor is too much. Yeah. I know he watched the match between the detestable Gaara and my charming Lee. He's got to know that hastily acquired taijutsu alone won't work against Gaara, whom even Lee couldn't defeat. Why did Sasuke hone his taijutsu? Why didn't he instantly kill Kaido? You're asking why Luffy didn't instantly kill Kaido? Let me show you something. Let me show you something. I feel like you know, I have no idea how'd you even start researching feats. You look for stuff and then you compare it to one another and you kind of just come to a conclusion from there. But I feel like you're saying that you're confused as to how Naruto destroys someone on the inside out, so let me show you. Okay. Oh, I was off by like quite a bit. Wait a second. Oh, it was episode 115. I'm bugging the fuck out. I'm bugging. Okay. Let me. Okay. You see this attack right here? You see this attack? This is called Gamma Knife, right? Gamma Knife. Let me look this up for you. Actually, Trafalgar Law. Here, let me show you something. Okay. Radio knife, amputate, tact, scan, injection, gamma knife. This is Law's strongest non-awakened attack. Law creates a short blade of energy before stabbing his opponent with it. This technique destroys the victim's internal organs without leaving any external wounds. According to Law, not even someone of Doflamingo's caliber could survive this. This was first used to fatally wound Doflamingo, though he managed to mitigate the worst effects by stitching his damaged organs together via his strings. With his string ability. Later, Law was able to injure Kaido in his full beast form with this technique. Gamma Knife is a method of radiosurgery which is used to treat brain tumors. In the anime and recent, the color changes from pale green to later yellow. Okay. It's also, if I remember correctly, an evolved form of radio knife. It's an evolved form of amputate, which Law charges, counters shock, which results in suffering from the electrical shock. Cutting the organs is not, however, which prevents the targets from briefly being able to reattach their own body, and is a counter to the abilities that one can reassemble themselves with Law's original amputate ability. Anyway, so you see how Kaido's getting stuck here? He says, I have never seen an anatomical chart of a dragon, but I guess the heart is right about here. He stabbed the heart, right? I'm lost what I missed. We're doing Naruto versus Luffy. We're trying to figure it out. Real quick. So there's a person here that asked if Luffy can deal internal damage, why couldn't he kill Kaido with it? This is why. Kaido is so fucking tough, so physically and monumentally durable, and has so much stamina and endurance. He was stabbed with an attack that bypassed his durability, targeted his heart, destroys his internal organs, and he was still fighting without any single issue throughout the entirety of it. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even come up as something that even remotely slows him down. Yeah, it's not that Luffy couldn't do it. Literally says no to regen factor. Yeah, it's not a matter of how that even possible. What Naruto, he just can't be true because he doesn't beat Kaido. If he could really destroy internal organs, then Kaido would be dead. Yeah, no, Kaido doesn't care about that. It's not enough. In One Piece, it's not enough. Yeah, I would say that Kaido and Kid Buu are some of the few villains that I would quite literally say are constructed alternatively. There is a reason why I say they are constructed alternatively. If you can destroy his internal organs and it doesn't even remotely affect his body or his ability to fight to anything close of even a what would be the right word here? An inconvenience? I'm gonna be real with you. It's not because it's not a fact. It's not a matter of at that point. It's not a matter of Luffy not being strong enough or Luffy not having the capability or it just being hyperbolic. It's just a matter of Kaido being that fucking problematic. Does Naruto survive durability negation? No, he does not. As far as I can tell, he cannot. Even if you were to argue that Naruto's body is so tough, he physically could withstand any of Luffy's punches, his internal organs are stated verbatim within the context of the story to not be capable of being trained. You cannot train his internal organs. No one in Naruto can train their internal organs. There has never been an example, as far as I can tell, in any single chapter in Naruto that remotely implies a ninja's internal organs could have a ninja's internal organs could either be reinforced with chakra or toughened up. That would also contradict Kakashi's statement. Debate noodles? I don't have to debate anybody. I don't care to debate. I'm simply providing the information within the context of the story and telling you why my reasoning is such. They can't be trained, but those organs have some crazy feats. Like what? What are their crazy feats? What crazy feats are inside of his organs? Luffy Gear Force did a Leo Bazooka to Dofi where he got hit with Law's Gamma Knife. Was that? Yeah, he got hit legitimately in his chest by a Leo Bazooka, which is stronger than Kong Gun, which is stronger than Elephant Gun. Okay. We don't need to be toxic about this. We don't need to be toxic about that. I'm not gonna time you out, but please don't start attacking other people in my chat. I'm all for like, you know, us having like discussions and debates about this kind of stuff, but I don't agree with the notion of insulting anybody, whether or not you think they can scale. It's never that serious, okay? No one's in trouble, nothing's happening, let's just try to just show some respect, alright? It's nothing crazy. It's not a big deal. No, you're fine. You're fine. There's legitimately no issue here. How could you have taught him such a reckless move? That is such a funny little thing. That does not make sense. He attacked his chakra points too. But did Ishiki was not stated he was going to destroy his dimension? Who stated he was going to destroy his dimension? What are you guys talking about? Oh, I don't know. You guys probably have your own debate. Ignore me. Have you done Luffy versus Gojo? Nope. If not, can you do it? Probably. Sasuke literally died after getting stabbed in the heart or something. Yeah, he literally died. He was about to die. About to. I don't know if he was actually dead. Chapter 50-ish of what? Boruto? Well, it's more so a case about Luffy trying to get past infinity. Otsutsuki's able to whisk you away to another dimension, right? So I figured I'd be able to do it too using karma. I couldn't just stand there and let him wreck the village. Yeesh, you've got that act first, think later attitude from me. Uh-huh. Boruto, you bastards. Momoshiki, your vessels progress farther than I thought. It's already 70-80%. How much power hides within me? Show me. Swap. Attacks, gets caught, you're in my way, kicks away, Boruto, or you'll be killed. I never thought you would be the one to impede me, Uzumaki Boruto, dragging me to this forsaken place. I could easily teleport back to your village, but you'd just chase me. Might as well get rid of you here, where no one else can interfere. If both Hokage and you die, perhaps your people will capitulate and spill Kawaki's locations. Now that's insulting. I won't go away that easily. You have nothing. You are empty. Blah, 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 blah. Attacks, Rasengan, turns him this small, grabs him with his chakra, swings with all of it. Awesome, Dad, get him. Turns small, behind, kick. Yeah, where is it stated he was going to destroy the dimension? From his shrinking ability, this is the end. His base strength, but his potential value against Ishiki. It was like a karma sealing jutsu. You can use the same Boruto's own master Ishiki. The difference ability is too great. Your master will be killed. Boruto, if you look at his base strength, sure, but you know he's become aware of his potential value against Ishiki. What do you mean? Okay. What about you? You'd freeze up. You'd kill us both. You can't kill me. Yeah. What are we talking about? Maybe 47, 46? You gotta find it then. I'm not gonna look for it for you. Fuck's this complex multiversal. Wait till Neji's next fight to see more context of what Naruto was getting hit with. No, he got the context of what Naruto was getting hit with. I understand exactly what he got hit with. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take this page as well. I think that's the Forest of Death. 10 kilometers. Okay, I don't need any of this. I don't need any of this. I appreciate that. You got the Forest of Death stuff? Cool. Appreciate it. If anything, I'll cross-reference what you got and what you didn't get, and then I'll, with what I already have, and then we'll just go on from there. Let me get to Sasuke versus... who's it's? Man, Kishimoto really knows how to fucking draw. I'm not that partial to the early Naruto art style, but I do like it. My day's been good. I woke up really fucking late, but like, if Luffy has Jiren Egg and Naruto can't train his organs, then why are we here? Does Naruto have better speed or something? No, he doesn't. Naruto does not have better speed. Quantifiably speaking, you can probably argue he has better attack potency and even durability sense because of the whole, like, moon slash thing from Boruto. I mean, not from Boruto, from Naruto the Last, but he does not have better speed. There's no argument here that anyone could ever make within the context of the story or through sheer implied multipliers that even remotely argues that Naruto could probably even keep up with Luffy in terms of speed, let alone be anything even remotely as fast. He gets speed blitzed and he gets one-shot by a barrage of Jiren-egging internal destruction punches that would cave his entire chest in. And for those of you that are taking my words literally, no, I don't mean that his chest would be literally caved in. I mean his organs, chest, lungs, spleen, his fucking liver, his fucking, I don't know, lower and large intestine, they would all get destroyed. His kidneys would blow the fuck up. He does not have the feats to even remotely argue that he would be able to survive such a thing. A single lung? Sure, but Luffy has a habit of attacking people consistently with a barrage of punches. I stopped at chapter 62? Okay, that's fine. I got all the stuff from the... By the way, Jeff, I got all the stuff from the... what the fuck's it called? I got all the stuff from the Jiraiya training, the Toad summon, and the Gamabunta summon, and the Neji fight. I got all the stuff from there. Barrage of Rasen Shurikens managed to destroy a few meteorites. Luffy literally folded Dressrosa onto itself by using Dofi as impact. How about pre-time skip Luffy versus part 1 Naruto? Naruto gets curb stomped. Let me show you something. Currently here, I have written many of early Naruto's feats. So from here, this is actually the entire portion right here, is part 1 Naruto versus part 1 Luffy. I'm going to go over a couple of things that Naruto has done prior to fighting Gaara, and I'm going to show you a couple of things, okay? Let's start off. Naruto can employ the multi-shadow clone jutsu. He can't employ at will. He can't employ 1,000 shadow clones at will. 1,000 clones at will. What I mean by this is Naruto specifically needs to be in a mental state where either his life is on the line or where he's trying to protect somebody near him to pull out the full 1,000 clones. I've actually counted. The most clones he makes on average without it being the multi-shadow clone jutsu is only 33 clones. So that's about 33 12-year-olds, but let's just say we give him the 1,000 clones. Sure. What did the 1,000 clones do? They beat a Chunin. They beat a Chunin named Mizuki from the first chapter, okay? In the first chapter, what does Mizuki do? How powerful is Mizuki? What can Mizuki pull off? Well, we know for a fact that he is